It is recognized by all and sundry that the greatest challenge confronting our economy is that of achieving high GDP growth rates in order to address mass poverty, including the unacceptably high rate of unemployment, which is around 40%. Able-bodied South Africans who cannot find work, who cannot put food on the tables, who cannot eat, yet are willing to work. Let's reflect upon the following problem statement. In 1994, at the commencement of Nelson Mandela's presidency, with the likes of Chris Stals, doctor, as well as Derek Keys, including Chris Liebenberg, the latter two became finance ministers and Chris was governor of the bank. We had set ourselves as government the target for South Africa's sustainable economic growth rate at no less than 6% per annum to be realized by the year 2000. That, as they say, was not a thumbsuck. It was a scientific figure based on the need to grow our economy at that percentage above the population growth rate. Anything less would not have been acceptable. Our current economic growth rate, 16 years since 1994, is less than 4%. In real terms, this growth rate of today, albeit in positive territory, is nevertheless insufficient. What this implies is that South Africa is experiencing a deficit in growth. We remain in positive territory, but because we are not where we want to be, we have a deficit. In his recently published country report on South Africa, the International Monetary Fund forecast a growth rate of which is required for South Africa, slightly more than 6%. This should be understood within the rapidly developing African economy, which currently, according to the World Bank, is the fastest in the world. During his state visit to the People's Republic of China, which today has become one of the most powerful economies breathing down the neck of the United States, President Jacob Zuma announced to the world that the economic growth rate which South Africa requires should be 7% and beyond, sustainable over a period of time. It's important. Look where the numbers are today. Look where we wanted to be in 1994. 16 years later, we still have not hit that target. The numbers that we require, percentage-wise, sustainable, are beginning to grow. Yet, the economy still remains behind. Skeptics believe that this could be a bridge too far to go for 7%. It may well be so, if things, of course, remain static. Yet several credible economists who normally don't agree with one another regard this target as realizable. We've got work to do here. But what is the magic tonic? What factors need to combine, and who are the key players that should come to the party to achieve these targets? Taking a leaf from the Chilean San Jose rescue mission, this, after all, wasn't a miracle, as I stated. This was a concerted effort by many role players working against odds. It should say something to us. Therefore, a partnership approach to greater competitive productivity in South Africa requires the marshalling of all productive forces in the country towards a single and strategic objective of lining up this country along the trajectory of transforming it into a developed nation during the course of this century. There was a lot of self-praise, as we all know, on our part, correctly so, that the recent recession did less than expected damage to the economy owing to the well-regulated banking sector, including other financial institutions. Yet no sooner had we celebrated this situation than the global currency war started a few weeks ago, which compelled the rand to go the other way. This saw the central bank getting into a marginal overdrive in an attempt to mop up in order to stabilize our ratios. Because if things go the other way, the national numbers change. And when they change, for me, I can't put those bricks on the ground. And the demonstrations will increase in the streets. There's a direct relationship here. At times, such a situation feels like a never-ending horror movie. Are we out of this situation? Where at the end of each dark passage, as you dash towards the light, more horrors are lurking. One shudders to think how this economy can still hope to fight on, as some voices are saying that this recession was not just a U-shaped one, and that it could become a W. We went into the trough, we're coming out, and we think we're in growth, and then the thing goes down again. That, I believe, is not something that South Africa will be able to survive, because we are very much heavily exposed to our traditional trading partners. And if they are hit again, this time round, no matter how well our central bank regulates the rest of the financial sector, this is one thing that will not be able to survive.